All right, so I thought I'd start with the fun part. As you can see, I have finally got around to setting my rotary axis up and giving it a try. And so I'm using the Lion test file that Sienci Labs provides. Let me just get the spindle up here. So it's pre-canned. It's a pre-canned NC file of a Lion. It's kind of just designed to get you started. So give me half a minute here, and I will. As you can see, the sawdust is super fine, which is pretty interesting. So let me grab the vacuum, and we'll get this vacuumed up and see what it looks like. All right. So I used a 1/4 inch tapered ball nose bit. It did in the instructions did say an 1/8 inch, but my 1/8 inch bit was pretty short, and I was worried that it wouldn't be thick enough or wouldn't go deep enough to make the Lion work. But basically, the setup was reasonably straightforward. I used the dog holes as index points. I put a couple index points in, slid the rotary tool up to those, and then I was able to set my X and Y off of that. So I'm going to take this out, except I have to do it the right way. And I've got to get the wrenches for the rotary. Okay, so back this out a little bit more. Okay, that's. I mean, this is just pretty cheap pine material that I cut on the table saw to be 1 inch in size, and I didn't even make it round. There is a surfacing tool path that you can run in GCenter. I didn't, obviously. I left it square, and yeah, the detail is super impressive. Let me just get a zoom in shot here. Oops, wrong way. How about that? So again, this is just, I think this came from a 2x8. This is not quality wood by any means. It's construction grade lumber. And yeah, the detail of the Lion is super good. And he's holding his little shield there. Oh, that's super fun. Okay, so yeah, it worked. It did what it was supposed to. The setup was reasonably, I will say, straightforward. So for zeroing, I'll back out a little bit here. So when I zeroed my axis, basically with the way I have it set up with the external driver, I can leave it as a 4th axis. So in some configurations, if you don't set up the external driver, you're going to steal your Y axis. And in my case, I was able to keep all of the rest of the config, the machine running as it was, and then just had the 4th axis, which was this guy. So a couple things of note: when you're mounting and getting it set up, with your fourth axis, you want to make sure that A plus, so right now I'm running A plus, it's spinning towards me. Initially, I had it set up spinning away from me, and then after reading some documentation, doing a couple last minute checks, I realized that it's supposed to spin away from me. So I did fix that. And then once I have the index holes, the essentially the y coordinate is the dead center of the rotary tool. So the center of this is your y. So this direction here, that is where the y-axis should be. And then x is the, it depends on your software a little bit. In this case, the lion was set up to the center point of your stock. So there are different options as far as your stock goes. It could be the top of your stock. To me, the middle makes the most sense if you have the option to set your jobs up for the middle of the stock, because once you have it mounted and you figure this out once, like really, this should be the midpoint. I don't know how accurate, this piece is, but essentially if I take my ball nose bit and I put it right at the end of this, within a piece of paper, I should have a pretty good idea of both X and Y. Or sorry, Z and Y, I should say. I guess that's, yeah, Z and Y. And then the X is wherever your stock starts. So in my case, I had it in here, in the jaws. And so I set my X0 to here, right at the base of the lion's foot. And that was kind of an arbitrary value. Basically, as long as your stock is long enough for whatever you're carving, you can, for safety reasons, you could set your X in even further and it would be fine. I chose here because I thought it was well away from the jaws on the rotary, and it worked out well. Depending on what you were doing in the length of it and stuff, you may need more of that room. So you may not have that luxury. You may have to go closer to the teeth of the rotary tool. But yeah, if I match up, I think that's what I'll do is I'll spend a bit of time and I'll get it to line up with this. And as soon as this bit is touching, or like I said, within a paper width of this point, that would give me a very accurate Z height that should be repeatable, and Y position that should be repeatable. And then I could save that as one of my workspaces. As long as I remember which one it is, I could then slide the rotary in, index it, lock it down, and then my Z and Y would already be predetermined, and then I would set my X on the stock. So I'll maybe do a video of going through setting that 0 point in the future, but that'll be a little bit finicky. So I'll maybe do that offline. It'll be pretty boring to watch me set that, I think. But yeah, ultimately, I think the external driver, the fourth axis driver, makes a lot more sense than trying to steal your y-axis drivers. And I'm super glad that Sienci Labs included that option on the super longboard to make that setup way easier. And I'm super happy that I'm able to leverage my Genmitsu rotary tool to do this work. I will probably start looking for some chess pieces to do in the future. I think that'll be pretty fun. Like I said, the lion was quite cute and worked out pretty well. So if I can do some chess pieces, I think that'll be super fun. Yeah, I hope that was a fun time lapse. And if there's any other questions on the rotary tool and how I have it set up, please let me know. And otherwise, I hope to do another project with it soon. I'm going to use, I know Sienci Labs mentioned the Luban software for SnapMaker. I don't have, if I had Carveco or Vectric, I'd probably try it, but I don't. So I will give that a shot and see if I can get a job set up in their software. Awesome. Thanks, guys.